So it is not often that a company enters a market or an industry that they're not known for. Furthermore, it is not often that they drop so many products in 1 year and be so aggressive in taking on the risk of creating a new product line. ZHIYUN has seen success with their smaller lights, but now it is time for them to enter, the professional world, giving us a professional cob light featuring a Bowens mount natively. And today we have the ZHIYUN MOLUS B100. Special shout out to ZHIYUN for sending me this light very early, and we had some issues when it came to shipping because my apartment complex be tripping sometimes, but we got a hold of this light and we're using it right now. It is actually up here lighting me for this video. And an honorable mention, we actually have the MOLUS G60 over here lighting me, giving me this edge light right now. So the B100 is a small but powerful light that you can now get in the ZHIYUN lineup. It is a native Bowens mount light, meaning this is going to be a professional light that they have now developed. So now let's talk about the B series. There's the B100, the B200, the B300, and also the B500. Now this, I want that one, ZHIYUN, I want it. And like you're smart. The number corresponds with the wattage. So what comes in the B100 package? Very simple. You get the light, you also get, your reflector, and you get a power cable. But also ZHIYUN, this light is naked. It needs some clothes. It needs some pants to put on. What I'm saying is basically when this light is shipped, it comes in this box, but ZHIYUN did not give us a dedicated bag or also a cover for the light. Now with the cover, they actually have integrated a cover onto the light, but I'm paranoid. I would like, another cover, but that's okay. I got some other covers. I made sure to cover it up myself. Now looking at the body, you see fans all over this thing. And that is what ZHIYUN calls their Dynavort cooling system. I wish I was in the lab when people come up with these names, because I'd be coming up with some simple, like the blower hard, I don't know, and then somebody would be like Dynavort, and I'd be like, well, how can I compete with that? Overall, the body design is very impressive. And what I love is that it's pretty much stays true to what ZHIYUN has been doing lately with the smaller size light, which means this light here is so easy to boom because it's so small, but you're still getting the power that you would expect from a professional cob light. Now let's talk about the features. Man, listen to me. There's a B in the name. So if this thing better be bicolor. So if it wasn't bicolor, it would be kind of confusing. So luckily we do have a bicolor light. It goes from 2700 to 6500 Kelvin. And guys, I want y'all to think about it. We got it so good now. And the reason why I say that is because typically lights that are in this price range, you only could get daylight tone lights. So now, having a bicolor light has become the standard. And that is pretty amazing. Like I said, we eating good. So now let's talk about the body. I want to tell you how this thing works. The left knob is all about your dim. So that is how you're gonna, adjust your brightness. The other thing about this left knob, if you hold it down, you go into the menu. The menu is very simple. It's only, just a couple things there. You have your language, of course, and then you also have your, your Bluetooth reset if you need to reset it specifically for the app. Now you go to the right knob, that is your CCT. That is where you actually control your color temperature. If you hold that knob down, it actually takes you to your effects menu. So them effects that none of us use, but sometimes we use them. But most of the time, nobody don't care about them effects, but sometimes we get to use them. And the next thing you get from this thing is gonna be app control. Again, another industry standard, and that comes through their ZY Vega app. And a big feature that ZHIYUN has really been pushing has been the lack of needing a big power brick like we would typically need for a cob light. This has a regular AC cable. You can find this cable anywhere on Amazon. You can find it, in your local electronics store. But basically, you don't need a proprietary power cable. So you can easily replace this cable anytime you want. All right, so we have changed the look of the video. So we still have the MOLUS B100 right here. This is going to be my key light. We still have the G60 right over here, but I've added something, all right, to really complete the ecosystem. This is the Fiveray M20C. It's an RGB, magnetic light. You already know it's a very good travel light, and that's another thing from ZHIYUN. But now I want to go through the pros and the cons of this B100. Let's start with the pros. First off, this thing is so small. You've seen how small this thing is, and it's it's so powerful. And again, for it to start at the lowest level at 100 and still go up to 500 and still have a compact size, that is impressive. Another pro of this one, and obviously I'm using the Bowens mount adapter, you know, for the G60, but the pro here is that you don't have to use an adapter. This thing comes ready, Bowens mount professional, ready to use any modifier that you own. Another thing that is probably gonna go a little bit underwhelming, it's not really sexy, but the knobs on the B100, now they are sturdy. These are sturdy here, but you can't go too crazy and put heavy modifiers on some of these other smaller, you know, cob lights and these smaller lights that ZHIYUN makes. But with this one, you can put any modifier on it. You have a knob where you can easily make sure that modifier is pointed up, down, wherever you need it, and it's really sturdy and it's going to stay in place. Another pro, and this is just cosmetic, is the design. What we have noticed with a lot of these new lights from ZHIYUN, especially like the G60, their new, you know, their X60, their X100, this new B100, the B series, they're really good looking lights. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever you got some people that are in the system and in there doing their thing in the lab, and then making sure the product not only works well, but it looks good, I think it's a pro when your product also looks sexy. I'm just saying. And speaking of all those lights, when you have something like the Cine Pier and then you have your X100 and your X60, you know, your RGBs, you have your Fiveray, you have your G60. What I love about this light is now we have completed the ecosystem. All those lights are obviously very portable and you can do professional work with it. But now we have a professional system that brings it all together. So as you can see in this video right now, I'm showing you an example of how that works. Number one, we're using a professional key light. This is a professional light, okay? Now we're using this smaller, very, very portable modifier that is being powered, not by a power bank. Right now, I'm powering this light with a V-mount battery, okay? I'm not even using the power bank that I could be using. And this one over here, the Fiveray, obviously it's going to have its own battery power on board. So again, to me, now it all just comes together. Now, let's talk about the cons, all right? There is some cons of these things and a couple of suggestions that I have. Number one, I said it before, it's naked. All right, it's naked. I would have loved to, if this is the professional light, I need to feel comfortable taking it into different environments, meaning I want to be able to transport it, meaning I would have liked to have a bag. I think you should have a bag when we're doing a professional launch, because that box is cool and it has all the, you know, the foam in it, but that's not what we would consider to be a travel, you know, friendly kind of situation for a professional. So maybe the B200, 300, and 500, maybe they come with bags, I don't know. But I can tell you that the B100 does not come with a bag. Another, we'll say suggestion, it's not a con, but it is, you know, just a slight suggestion. The fact that this G60 can be powered with a USB-C. The fact that this Fiveray can also be charged, you know, while you're using it with a USB-C. I think when I saw the B100 and it had that USB-C, I'm thinking, well, it's 100 watts. Maybe if I use a big enough V-mount battery, this thing would be able to just be portable. And I think that's a good suggestion for the next model of these things. USB-C that is on the B100 is not, you know, power delivery. It is just there for firmware updates. So it would have been nice to have a way to use a USB-C option to also power this light, especially because it is 100 watts. And guess what? We have lots of power options that meet that 100 watt threshold. And speaking of power, again, not a con, just a suggestion. When we're talking about professional lights, one of the features that I like out of professional lights, especially if I'm going to be using them in a work situation, is going to be a V-mount option. Okay, so hopefully ZHIYUN, you have some V-mount options coming out, maybe some type of V-mount adapter. It would be really, really nice to see that. And I'm just saying that. I guarantee a lot of my other friends feel the same way. I'm just saying it would be nice to be able to do that. Again, it's not a requirement. I'm just saying for professionals, a lot of times we want to take these things in these very portable situations. Maybe you're shooting at night and you don't have a power option. Maybe you're outside, you don't have a power option, especially for something like that B500. I think the B500 is exactly what a lot of people need when they're using lights out in the sun and when they're wanting to emulate sunlight. Having like a more portable power option for something like the B500, even this B100, I think it comes in clutch. I think so. That's just a suggestion for the next generation. Or hey, you know, go develop, you know, us a V-mount option. That'd be nice too. Again, big shout out to ZHIYUN for, you know, just really hooking it up, making sure that I have all the lighting that I could ever use, not only in studio, but also just on the go. I have been using these lights on the go, and they have been really, really clutch, especially just because of how small they are. So if this is something that is interests you, we have links down there below that ZHIYUN has provided. So shout out to them again. So hopefully you've gotten some value out of this, not only as far as a lighting review, but also, you know, just how we do these videos in the studio and how you can make very similar videos with the same types of products, and you can get your footage and your YouTube videos to look just as good, if not better. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. I love y'all.